right, I've got a tether, so I'm going to see if I can group some of these guys together.
Almost got super. All right, Nim, do you have melting point?
I do.
Can you point the boss?
Yup. All right, go for it.
Herzog, I always hated you.
Get him. Melt him. Dead.
Yeah.
There we go.
Good shit, Nim.
job, guys.
Let's go, baby.
Get absolutely.
Hey, what is going on, guys? Nem with Planet Destiny here. And as you may have known by now, the Black Spindle is finally out in the world of Destiny 2. Except that this time around, it's now called the Whispers of the Worm. Now, we're going to go through a in-depth video on how to acquire the weapon and how to trigger the public event. So the public event takes place in the Lost Oasis section on IO. Now, when you see the public event start to commence, there is going to be a taken champion that spawns in one of 3 areas, and it's 3 different taken champions. And we'll show you the locations shortly, but as you guys can see here, the public event is about to start, and this is one of the more common areas for the taken knight to spawn. So as you can see the blight spawning in, and there's the taken champion. Quickly melt him down as he disappears relatively quickly, and it is imperative that you kill him so you can start the anomaly mission. And as you can see right there, the portal has opened and the fire team leader can start the mission. Now, before we go on any further, we're going to walk through the 3 different locations for the 3 different spawns that are possible here. Now, of course, it pretty much depends where the taken blight starts. So the first location is going to be located next to the lost sector on that little cave area right over there. So let's go ahead and just get on closer here, because there is a scannable that you can find that talks about Ikora and her meditating about the light, but this is one of the more common areas for where the taken knights will spawn. As you can see right here, this is his area. Now, when he is about to despawn, he's going to teleport into this cave, so be very, very mindful about his spawning time. Now, the second boss actually spawns in this little crevice down there. As you can see, it's still relatively close to the lost sector, but if you don't see the taken knight spawn up there, you're going to see a taken fallen spawn in this little crevice area down here. Now, typically you don't want to do this alone. You want a fire team of 3, because this mission is relatively difficult. So if you'd like, you can set each person in a different location. Now let's go ahead and take a look where the 3rd possible spawn location, and this is actually going to be a familiar face. This is going to be a taken cabal by the name of Ta'ark. So for those D1 vets, yes, it's the same Ta'ark. Now this guy spawns over here directly next to one of the possible places where the flag will spawn. So let's go ahead and take care of these pesky taken phalanxes here. So he is going to spawn inside this area. Again, just make sure you have one of each person in one of each possible spawn locations, just to make sure that he doesn't run away. Now, if by any chance you guys can't find them, one of the things that has worked for me is to take yourself and your fire team, fast travel to the Rapture or the Rupture, wait a couple of seconds, and then fast travel back into the Lost Oasis. Every single time that it worked for me, the boss spawned there. I mean, the portal was already spawned there at that point. Now, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the quickest routes in order to navigate the maze. Going to have little commentaries here and there, but for now, this is a guide on how to get to where you need to be. Now, one of the things to note in this particular jumping part is that Taken Vandals spawn, and they are relatively powerful. So keep in mind, when you get to this ledge over here, he spawns right behind you. Now, of course, using the Cold Heart is not the best way to kill it, but if you're running with a fire team, make sure at least one of you guys has either a sniper rifle or a scout rifle to get rid of him, because he hits really hard and can possibly one-shot or two-shot you depending on your power level. So this next part right here, it's easiest to jump to it when it's closed. That way you can get the timing right so it won't push you out. As you can see there, just made it quick and easy. Now for this next section right here, you're gonna want to go to the furthest top right portal. So easy peasy, all you got to do is just stick to the side, and you'll be able to reach your destination. Now, the following platforming puzzle actually has a very fast shortcut. The moment you walk in, look down and to your right, and where you see the flickering light, that is an opening for a shortcut. So you don't have to climb through the entire section to move on. So right here, we're just going to kind of get a better angle at this so you guys can see properly where it's at. Flickering light, and just take a little hop right there and crouch, and from the right there, like, this is going to be a huge time saver for you guys. So you make a right and you guys will be able to see the ledge where you need to go to. So just follow this ledge, keep bearing left, and follow the path forward, and you'll get to the first wave of enemy encounters. Now, for the actual areas with the enemies, some of the better power weapons that I would recommend is either Sleeper, Sins of the Past. I was using the Legend of Acreus. It was actually really taking care of some of the shielded knights and wizards. Ideally, you want to focus fire on some of the more important ads. So snipers are probably going to be one of the biggest annoyances that you're going to encounter here, as they're powerful enough to two-tap you and just completely waste 30 seconds of your time, depending if somebody's able to res you or not. A big thing here is be careful with the Taken Blights, because they do deal a very small but annoying damage over time. Granted, you can use them as shields as well, because the enemy fire won't penetrate the blight, but you are still going to be taking a very small amount of damage over time. So ideally, you'd want to get rid of that, because if you're trying to get away with very low health and you step into one of these blights, it's potentially going to kill you. So just keep that in mind. It is not necessary, though, to destroy the blight to move on to the next enemy arena. As long as you take care of all of the ads, you can proceed. Now, one of the biggest advice that I can give you when you finally reach the last stage of the anomaly mission is to focus fire on the Centurions. The Axion darts will kill you incredibly quick, and there are multiple Centurions to worry about, including one of the main bosses is is a giant Cabal Centurion. So when you finally are able to deal damage to him, because there's 3 bosses in that last arena that you do have to take care of, along with a plethora of ads. One of the biggest issues here is trying to balance out of control with boss DPS. Ideally, for this last stage, you do want to get rid of some of these blights, because if you're using a Night Stalker hunter, these blights are going to get in the way of your tethers, or honestly even any super really that you try to use. If there's an enemy inside one of these blights, it's going to completely protect them. So ideally, you want to get rid of the blights, control the ads, and then start doing damage to the boss. I'm not exactly sure if there's a particular order for the bosses to spawn, but you do want to make sure that if you do have a Titan with melting point, use that as much as possible, as smart as possible, because every little bit of damage counts. Now I'm gonna let the video play here so you guys can kind of see our approach to it. Note that we do run real close to running out of time, but as long as you focus fire, you guys should be able to make it. Now, with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the walkthrough on how to get the Whisper of the Worm. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next Planet Destiny video.
Alright, focus fire on that Centurion. Fire.
Fire. Kind of perennially running into the problem of no heavy.
Yeah.
Did you have a super, John?
I've just been staggered this entire time.
I feel you. I'm almost back to mine, but I need to kill something or pick up an orb. Centurion over on right side by you, Nim. He is shield busted. Watch back. Nice.
Damage is damage. Just keep it. Just lay it on him.
Oh, I'm dead right next to you, Link.
Got you. Oh, he's so close. Would it kill one of you to drop me at least a little bit of heavy?
Jesus Christ.
I got you.
He's about to die.
Alright, we need to bum rush this last one. He's dead.
He's dead, yep.
Oh, and he dropped heavy. I gotta grab it. Oh, I died right in front of it. Watch your back now, watch your back.
Yeah.
Then it throws her up. Alright, I've got a tether, so I'm gonna see if I can group some of these guys together.
Almost got super. Alright, Nim, do you have melting point?
I do.
Can you
Okay.
point the boss?
Yep. Alright, go for it.
Erzak, I always hated you.
Get him.
Get
Melt him.
fucked.
Dead.
There we go.
Good
Good
shit, Nick.
job, guys.
Let's go, baby.
Get absolutely